Okay, we got another new section for the show this week. This is top fives. So each week we're going to go through our top five of certain films of different genres. This week's topic is westerns. So rolling in at number 5, Young Guns 2.
Ooh, very good choice.
Emilio Estevez and the rest of the Brat Pack. I always enjoyed that one.
I've got at number 5, The Searchers, 1956.
Got to be in there somewhere, hasn't it?
I think that's the kind of peak level of John Wayne and John Ford. Just absolutely influential film.
Okay, so at number 4, I've got the classic Shane.
Oh, very good.
I don't know if you've seen that or not yet. I have,
yes.
But that's, for me, is one of the best westerns ever made. It's almost an archetypal western in terms of, that particular kind of story of the stranger coming to town and taking care of the bad guys because the good townsfolk are just not able to compete with the malevolence of such nasty characters. It takes a hero to come in and clean them up. I mean, Shane is the ultimate example of that, I think. So I've got that in there. What did you have at number 4?
Really good choice. Yeah, I've gone for Unforgiven from 1992.
That's such a great film.
Great piece. Later Clint Eastwood, much darker, kind of harsher take on the Western, I think. And it's when that kind of the more modern Western started to come out a bit and change the game, really.
Number 3, I got The Searchers. We've already covered that. So
there we go.
There we go. That's done in there.
Well, for number 3, I've gone for Once Upon a Time in the West.
Nice.
Which for me is Leone's best. Well, it's certainly best in that period. Obviously, I love Once Upon a Time in America as well. Kind of the third in that kind of trilogy, as they call it. But the best score from Morricone in that, and just I find it a really interesting film because it turns the conventions of American westerns really on its head.
Yeah.
It's a very dark film and a great turn from Henry Fonda as a villain.
Talking about playing against type, that is the ultimate example.
Exactly, perfect film.
Those icy blue eyes and just a completely vicious and disgusting character in Frank. You've also got the great Charles Bronson as harmonica.
Oh yes,
it's
stunning.
It's good fun. Jason Robards in there as well, who later did Fistful of Dynamite. Yeah, great film. Number 2, my choice was Once Upon a Time in the West. So there we go. That was my number 2 slot. What was in yours?
For me, I've gone for Tombstone from 1993.
Oh yes. Now there is a movie.
Excellent movie. Ensemble cast, Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer. Really stylish
Powers Booth,
Western, I think.
Michael Biehn as the bad guys. Really great film. Back in the day, when it was released, Kevin Costner also did his own version of the Wyatt Earp story, which was just called Wyatt Earp. And that was like an epic, expansive, 3-hour Western that kind of did his whole life from when he was a young lad to right up towards the end before he died, because he lived quite a long time. He lived into the 20th century, Wyatt Earp. I believe John Wayne actually met him once, or so legend has it. John Wayne met Wyatt Earp at some point. I don't know how true that was, but I used to prefer the Costner version, and Dennis Quaid did this amazing performance as him, and I used to love that film. But years later, I watched them both together, and I came out on the side of Tombstone in the end because it's just such a great film. It's so much fun, and they both essentially a similar film. The main thing being the gunfight at the OK Corral and everything. But Tombstone is mighty fine film, fantastic. Okay, and for our number 1 westerns, I have got what I consider to be Sergio Leone's greatest film, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Fantastic
which is,
choice.
Of course, everybody's probably most recognizable Western. You've got the theme tune there, that famous call, and Clint Eastwood, Lee Van Cleef, and really it's, Eli Wallach's best role as Tico. is so cool in it. I mean, he's great in The Magnificent Seven, and he's great in The Godfather 3, and he's great in everything he ever does. Eli Wallach, he's just one of those underrated, fantastic actors. But as Tico in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly,
it's certainly one of the films that set the stall, really, and yeah, it's landmark piece, really.
What did you have at number one?
Well, I've gone for the film that started it all. A lot of people reference it. I've gone for Stagecoach.
Oh yeah, another John
from
Wayne.
1939.
Yeah.
John Wayne, John Ford is kind of their first coming together. Now, for me, this is the film that set the standard for westerns going forward. It's a superbly directed film. What they managed to pull off, this is 1939, and you look at the horse chase sequences and the stunts and stuff like that, and you think, wow, how they managed to do this.
It is a classic. John Wayne in the white hat. I mean, this is the thing, when we were in film school, we did that sort of compare and contrast exercise using Stagecoach as the man in the white hat and then The Searchers as the man in the black hat. And it's a really interesting thing to kind of study and to look at as two different characters of the same sort of genre. So
10 really great westerns there.
Well, actually, it probably wasn't
probably
10 because we had, a couple of them were doubled up. But yeah. Let us know what were the ones we missed out, your favourite westerns. Tell us what we got wrong. Not a problem. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what your favourite westerns are, what your top 5 are. Put them in the comments below, or come and say hello on Twitter and tell us there.
And if you haven't seen any of them, we recommend you just go and watch them. They're really, really great films to tuck into.